Hello there everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of our Hannibal at the Gates campaign. Yes, we are the Carthaginians, and well, right now we are actually suffering from some loyalty issues. I think there are ways that we can handle this, and the first thing is I am going to go ahead, let's take a look at our region map mode, not religion. Let's go to region map mode, and I think it's time that I actually start assigning some armies to my governors. That will help loyalty to some extent. We're just having a lot of loyalty issues. So I'm actually going to build some designated armies specifically for this reason to assign to these governors as garrison troops. And I want to do troops who don't cost much. I'm going to go with these skirmishers. So I will just build a couple armies of light infantry around, and I will assign them to my governors. I think I'm going to probably build 2 armies of 20 stacks for now. Of course, that will hurt a couple things. One, it will mean I won't be making as much military experience, because even if they're assigned governors, I do still believe they count against me as far as I'm sure they count against me as far as my total troops, so that hurts the amount of military experience I will get. Let's go ahead and add some troops to you. And right now I can only actually add 6 because, well, I'm just out of cash. But yeah, lots of disloyal provinces. Want to make sure that that is settled before we let it get too far out of control. Thankfully, these light infantry barely cost anything, so it's not going to be a huge drain on our economy, although we are only making about 9 ducats per month. We're accepting every trade offer that we can get, though. We are definitely hoping... Let's see, what region are we in right now? I'm definitely hoping to make some more money in the near future. Let's go ahead and just for now, I think we are looking at maybe 2 more troops. We'll make these armies of 10,000 for now. And then we will assign it to the region. I might actually add another 10,000 men to this army. But let's try to get this region under control. I'm also trying to influence happiness and everything, but boy, it's just not super easy to make all these pops happy when they are so outside of our culture and religion. Alright, so we have these 10,000. Let's go ahead and assign you to the region. What's that going to do for us? Well, because of the troops, we are going to get an extra... Oh, well now you are increasing your loyalty. I guess that's good. Uh-oh. The art of the deal. Members of the mercantile faction have something of a reputation regarding the price for their support. It came therefore as no surprise at all when Carthalo Barca, leader of the patricians of Carthage, approached us with a glint in his eye. Well, we could lose 100 gold. I don't really want to do that. Or Carthage owes mercantiles 0 favors. This option will increase and we'll lose 200 gold. Why would I offer them more? Unfortunately, I think I'm just going to have to go with this, an unnecessary expense. That is actually going to be quite costly in terms of money because that decreases my total amount of commerce that I'm making. Who's in charge of my army again? Or my country again? The mercantile, or the military faction. I'll tell you what, I don't love how many populists are currently in the Senate. Let's see, you are pushing towards the civic faction. So why am I not nominating a candidate from the civic faction? We are about to have an election. I'm going to get, again, 2 religious members. But why 2 religious members? you'd think it would be someone from the civic faction, because I have so many civic people in power. Interesting. Well, we'll figure it out. Yep, senatorial resistance. Well, Metallo-Hannidid has proven to be a conscientious candidate as suffect. Previously an outspoken critic of the government, he was spoken of with contempt during meetings of the Senate. All were surprised, therefore, when he was elected to rule Carthage, casting aside any notions of propriety and class. With such underwhelming popularity amongst the elite, it is hard to see how he will get anything done. Well, we could lose a bunch of stability and gain some tyranny, or we could just have a whole bunch of people less likely to support us when changing laws for the next 2 years. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do that. We have a new suffet. Let's see. Yeah, now it seems that we have high civic faction support. So we would get 37 votes. Am I reading that correctly? 34 of them would come from the civic faction. 1 of them would come from the populist faction. Now, I mean, I'm pretty sure 34 plus 1 equals 35. Where are we getting our other 2 votes from? Is that how that works? Meanwhile, you are getting 29 votes. 6 of them are coming from the civic faction. The vast majority are coming from the mercantile faction, but with only 11 people in power, or 11 senators. Alright, so I'm figuring this out like a little slow. So if I want you, someone in the civic faction, to become the new... Oh, looks like the Dahe have been subdued. Alright, so yeah, as I was saying, I'm figuring this out a little bit more. So, okay, so now 35 are in the civic faction, 1 in the populist faction, so that would be 36. I still don't know why it's giving me 38. But I have a percent of faction. Alright, no, I still am just not 100% sure about this. Yeah, I don't know. It's not super transparent, or maybe it is and I'm just missing it. If you know how, if you have a detailed breakdown, I've watched some videos about how to handle republics, I've read some guides, but it's still just kind of confusing about exactly what under the hood is working out this math. Paradox math is kind of famously complicated. We have received word from our local officials of the province of Sardinia Borealis that several important provincial food stockpiles have been looted. Oh no! I don't really have the money to do this. I don't really want you to be general. The brigands will be caught and the grain returned. I'll lose 4,000 men. It'll cost me 10 political influence. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and lose those 10,000, or 4,000 men. I'm going to keep going with national... Ooh, you know what I might actually do? Let's go ahead and grab the omen for national commerce income, up by 17%. Yeah, that means that's just going to help us make all that much more money. Alright, so I'm going to add another 10,000 men to this regional army. Now, this army is assigned to the region. I guess I can move it around. Can it leave the region? No, it can't leave the region. So it can go anywhere in the region. I can control where it goes. It just can't leave the region. We'll have it just go sit on one of these ports. It does look like... Let's go to our province map mode. And it does appear that a bunch of our provinces with all of these troops are now actually gaining loyalty. So it looks like we are working out our loyalty issues. We might think about adding, of course, another 10,000 troops. And when I say adding another 10,000 troops, I mean bringing these 10,000 troops all the way over to this region and adding them to the region, because we are still suffering from low province loyalty over here in Mauritania. We also, we have finished our... Yeah, we have finished our claim fabrications. We could go to war with them whenever we wanted. In fact, I mentioned earlier that we'd probably go to war with them when we got close to 30 aggressive expansion. I'm going to go ahead and load my army here in Carthage into these ships. First, I'm actually just going to go ahead and go full fleet maintenance. Let's go ahead, put you into these ships. And you know what, I'm just going to hope we don't run into any pirates, and I'm going to bring you all the way out to the Horn of... Well, this is not the Horn of Africa, but the Straits of Gibraltar, of course. Sure, I'll trade away some grain. These 10,000 men will march all the way across North Africa. Ooh, we could become friends. This could be useful. Oh, also, do you know what we should do? We should become friends with someone in power. I think the military faction would be someone good to become friends with. So let's make friends with you. Of course, if it's going to cost too much political influence, we might decide to pass on the friendship for now, but we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and increase my opinion with you. Let's see what would happen with that. Alright, exotic gifts. Wild beasts from the far corners of the earth make for eye-catching and exotic gifts. Various merchants throughout the region offer a wide range of creatures, both for the arena and private owners, from Scythian colts to Nubian leopards. The question is, which impressive beast to send? The tiger should win him over. My Suffate will lose 100 of his own personal stash, but he's got some money to burn, so yeah. We always want to be friends with as many of the faction leaders as possible, because then they will be more likely to support my faction. Making an impression, our position offers many ways to publicly flatter Maribald Garibaldi, or Garbalid, careful praise of his deeds in the halls of government and among the notorieties in our country. Oh, so we are once again trying to become his friend. You know what, I'm going to go ahead and spend some of that political influence. Yeah, I definitely think that the political influence is what I have enough of. Sorry, I know I was quiet there for a second. I'm still just trying to figure out the exact election mechanics. It says that we would have 38 votes. I take it that the people of the Senate are the ones voting. So we'd have 38 votes. 35 of them seem to come from the civic faction. 0 from military, 0 from mercantile, 0 from religious, and 1 populist. To the best of my math, 35 plus 1 equals 36, not 38, so I'm still wondering where these other two are, but then also why is there one more person from the populist faction and not any of the others? And the only thing I can get is because the populist faction has a 4.7% chance to vote my way. And with only a 4.7% chance, that's roughly 5. So basically we're looking at 4.7% of the populist faction, which would just be one person. Alright, you see, that makes sense to me. But where is the game getting the 4.7% from? And then also bad health at 70.82 then reduces that support. Reduces support by that to 0.54, and then also not faction member minus 50%. What? Come on, make your tooltips easier to use. Oh well. How's my little, Oh, I thought you were going to be marching all the way across the map. Let's move you all the way down here. Probably should have just built that army over here. And then let's move this army to here. It's going to take attrition, but we actually have that supply wagon. And the gladiator, a previously unknown gladiator, has recently risen to great prominence in the arena, drawing huge crowds and by all accounts putting on a peerless show. A well-placed box seat could easily win Marball. You know what? It's going to cost us some popularity. Yeah, let's do it. I guess oh no, the 5th Army does not need a new general because it is going to eventually be assigned to the region. Eventually, of course. And we now are friends with Marball. Perfect. I'm going to move this army, I believe, into a position where it's going to just immediately blitz their capital. They only have 7 cohorts to come against us, so we should easily be able to destroy them, push in from both sides with our 2 major armies, and we should be good. If I absolutely needed to... Oh, I guess I could move my little horseman army. I will move it by boats. But let's go ahead and get this war started. To every cloud. Oh no! So the populist faction leader, he's going to lose 20 health, and they are going to be less likely to support me when changing laws for 2 years. Alright, so let's go ahead and declare war. 47 seats are behind it. The populist faction is not. They would lose 4.88 loyalty. The religious faction, though, is all for it. They like this idea a lot because we have... So it looks like the military faction, they like tyranny. So because we have 3.4... Oh, I bet because we have 3.45 tyranny, they are 3. So I bet if we had 10 tyranny, they would be 10% more likely. If we had 100 tyranny, they would be 100% more likely. They are... It's like a military dictatorship, I guess you could say at that point. Although we do have minus 5% because neither of the rulers are of the are from the military faction. We unfortunately don't have a super popular leader. If we did, then we could probably just push through whatever we wanted. But alas, we don't. And then ruler is the friend in faction with at least 80 prominence. Wait. Oh, ruler is a friend of the faction leader, so is plus 25%. So yeah, they're very likely to do it. Those who are least likely are the populist faction. They also get plus 6.9 from tyranny. Does everyone get plus... Oh wait, they get double. Instead of 3.45, they get 6.9. Okay. Does everyone get that? No, 3.4. Alright, so it looks like high tyranny makes it easier to push through... Interesting. High tyranny seems to make it easier to push through laws. The more you know. And by doing this, the military faction is going to gain some seats. Is that going to matter too much? I actually think that that could be kind of helpful, because then the military faction will be, I believe, we'll actually send one person to vote for the boss star Gisco in the next election. I wish I could see, like, Maribal Garibaldi. Nope.
I wish I could see bonus track.
Alexa, stop. I have one of those echo devices. Sometimes she thinks that she hears things when I'm not talking to her. Sorry about that. If I wanted to get higher mercantile support, which I don't necessarily do, but of course, the bonuses that I get for the mercantile...
I wish I could sleep by Nimano from Spotify.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. So sorry about that. My little Amazon Echo decided that she wanted to play some music for us. How lovely. Alright, so anyway, the mercantile faction, if I did want to put them in power, it's simply a matter, it seems like it's simply a matter of, well, one, I would want them to have a faction leader with a higher oratory score, right? Yeah. And then I would also want my Shephat, it doesn't, he is going to push support to whatever faction he is in. Okay. Of course, I don't necessarily want, I mean, that bonus for the military, or the mercantile faction in control, the 10% extra commerce income is great, but so is the 20% national tax. Although right now we have who? We have a member of the religious faction in power. Honestly, Omen power is good as well. Definitely not going to complain about it. Anyway, let's keep on going. We have a little while before our next election, it seems. If I wanted to try to push the military faction, give them more control, I guess I could hit the thumbs up button. We'd lose some stability. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and declare war. Again, the military faction is going to like that. Everyone else probably won't. All my little vassal states will come into play. And now let's check it out. Yeah, so they gained 5 seats. We actually lost a seat because I guess they had to take one or a couple seats away from everyone. But in doing that, we gained a vote in the military faction. Of course, we lost a seat in the civic faction, so... Because to give the military faction 5 seats, I wonder how it chooses who it's going to take seats away from. Does it take 1 seat away from everyone else? But then it would have to take 2 seats away from someone. Oh well. And you see, why do all of the, like, the religious faction, family of the faction leader is why the religious faction gets that extra 10%. So is it just, do I just add up the prominence plus the popularity? So like let's look here at the top of the secession support for the civic faction. If I add up 22 plus 50, I'm just going to round here. If I add up 22 plus 50, then that gives me to 72 plus 10 is 82. But then bad health at 72.44, which I'm assuming is maybe this person's health. 72.44, yeah. So then bad health at 72.44 then reduces the support by that to 0.59. What does that mean? And then, because he's not a faction member, I'm subtracting 50%. So I have 82% minus 50. You would think that that would be 32%. But then there's, so that bad health thing is the kicker. What does that mean when it says bad health at 72.44 then reduces support by that to 0.59? Well, either way, I think I would like for my next ruler to be this Maribal Garibaldi. Well, actually, he's about to die, so let's go. I wish there was a way. Let's go to our characters list. Sort by prominence, and look for the next most prominent person in the military faction. It's you. You were just our Suffet, weren't you? Because you're also the general here. So I think I want you to become more popular. Which, if you are the general, you will become more popular if we win some battles. So let's go ahead. I think we can push him into being our next representative from the military faction. When this man dies, I believe because of the high prominence, he should take over as the military faction leader. Now this is me just guessing. Someone else may know more about how this works, but let's go ahead and give it a shot. So I'm going to go ahead and declare war. Oh, I already have declared war. Whoops. And let's go ahead and just move. You are going to go make a beeline directly for their capital. I guess I could have tried to take that fort at the very beginning, but no, let's go directly for their capital. Go ahead and trade away that salt. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and load these 10,000 men on these 21 boats. And I'm going to move these 21 boats to the Straits of Gibraltar. I think we should easily have enough food to handle this. They're going to come and capture some territory, but I'm not worried about any territory they capture. Yes, so, alright, Maribal Garibaldi. It's unfortunate that he passed away. He was one of, if not the one, well, he was definitely one of the most influential people in our playthrough so far. I believe he was at one point the Shefat. I also know that he has been leader of the military faction for quite some time. And yes, indeed, this man has become the next leader of the military faction. So I believe if we want him, he is now in line. No, he is not. Alright, he's not in line for the throne. Could that be because he's already been the Shafat? Or the Suffet? Maybe? Well, let's look at this. Alright, so let's look at the Abrami Barca. He is the person that the military faction seems to have put in command, or at least up for, so let's go to families, let's find the Barcans. Oh, you know what? I bet let's just go to characters. Wish I could sort by military faction. Ruler family. Oh, alright, here he is. So it's a researcher. Okay. So this is the man that the military faction wants to put in control. If he were to gain some prominence as well as some popularity, it seems like more people would be willing to vote for him. I wonder how they've chosen to put him as the man that they are going to want to elect. Anyway, if I want him to take charge, I should give him an army, and so I think I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. Let's remove him from a researcher. Instead, we will choose this person. It's going to be a good way to increase your statesmanship anyway. And for now, I'm going to replace you, Carthalo, with Abrami. Now, that's going to cause some scorned family issues, but we have a navy that we can place Baal Barca on as in the flagship. He will become our admiral, and that will make the navy, well, make that entire family like me a little bit better. Should definitely have enough food to do this, I think, although we do lose 4.5 food per month. Capturing this is going to be important because if I can capture this fort, then that will allow me to reinforce anywhere in this province, reinforce my food stores at least. Alright, let's go ahead. You have been a military researcher for the last little while, but let's go ahead and see if we can get you some prominence by having you defeat one of their armies. You are fighting with extremely fast troops. They have a better commander. Ooh, and they have the better tactic. You know what, that's my fault. Should have definitely changed that to shock action. I don't think we get much value from that. We're definitely going to lose more men, but our morale is going to hold. He might actually lose a lot of popularity if he loses this fight. They do have those elephants, which is going to be difficult to handle, but we should be able to power through their light infantry. And we definitely get the flanking bonus, which is a huge part of playing with these large light cavalry stacks. We are going to win the flanks and indeed win the day. He's going to gain 6 popularity for that. Perfect. And now let's go ahead, have him siege down some provinces. Will he gain some popularity for sieging down provinces? I don't think so. Or just retaking some provinces. His popularity is currently at 8. Why is it going down so quickly? Pirate lair. Alright, it has come to our attention that a pirate lair has sprung up in Ziz. The local merchants and traders clamor for us to root out these pirates so that their trade ships can continue to sail along the shores unmolested. An advisor, Metallo, comes up to him and says, My Suffet, I have a cunning plan. We will dislodge them by force if necessary. We will gain the just trait. We will gain 10 popularity. Ziz gets pirates contented, which is local unrest plus 2. Ooh. But we get citizen output and local citizen happiness way up. And we could get, oh, what is it? You know what? Let's get rid of these pirates. So, interestingly enough, even after winning a fight, still doesn't seem to be super popular. And it does not appear like he's going to gain any popularity from sieging down this territory. That's alright. So unfortunately, I cannot advance this army any farther until this fort falls. That fort should fall, hopefully, relatively soon. They are at 21% chance of falling. We are going to engage them again. I forgot to change out of shot tactics. That's going to hurt, but I do think with our superior flanking range, we're easily going to beat them. Ooh, I didn't even look, but he should be a little bit more popular. He gained just a tad bit of popularity. Let's move something out of shock and instead let's do deception for now. We'll go ahead and come down to this province. That will allow us to start resupplying our food stores. Unfortunately, we're starting to run low on food in both of these armies. This fort really does need to fall. We are going to take a little bit of money and from sieging down some of these places, from raiding it. Gonna move a pop to Carthage. It's always good, I guess. We do finally take this city. Alright, so we could let the looting be gentle. The Hannibal family will gain 10 prestige. Alright, we could let the men roam freely, or we should say none shall hide. You know what? I actually think I'm going to go ahead and do the none shall hide, just because I'm kind of okay with getting rid of some of their population who are going to be, well, to put it frankly, not my culture. Not my culture, not my problem. I'm going to resupply our food stores for both of these armies from the food in this province. It's going to lose a lot of food really quickly, but look, they've really invested. I don't know if they've invested in granaries or what, but they have 1,000 food in this province, so we're going to be good. In fact, I might go ahead and have this army go fight again, just to make you even more popular. I think another big battle could put you over 10 popularity. That's good, I guess. I don't really want you to take the river crossing, so let's actually bring you this way first. Again, I'm just going to rest these armies for a little while. I could desecrate their holy site, I don't see a reason to do that. It does think we're going to win this. We are definitely faster than them. Let's check out the actual battle. Oh no, we have one of our members of the Civic faction has unfortunately passed away. Does that actually hurt how many people we have in the Senate? No, it doesn't appear so. Unfortunately, now we do have a sworn family. We have a lack of a governor. We'll just find someone from that family. Ooh. Yeah, how about you? Kalitzabal or Hiram? Kalitzabal or Hiram? I guess I'll go with Kalitzabal. He has a little bit better loyalty. We can go ahead and get an invention. I think I'm going to grab the aggressive expansion change. We also have just a ton of political influence, so I should have been keeping an eye on that a little bit better. Let's go ahead and come down to Carthage and grab, I believe, let's go ahead and do another trade route. It's probably just going to trade for some more wood. Let's add this army to this region. That's going to help us a little bit, or maybe even a lot of bit, with our province loyalty. Excellent. So unfortunately, up in Sardinia, we still have some unloyal pops, but who knows? I guess we could always just give them another little loyalty army to help us out. Alright, we could attack the pirates. Let's see. So, Metello Hannibal has spent a year drilling his forces, gathering supplies, and making the necessary preparations. His advisors cannot agree, however, on whether it would be best to attack them by land or by sea. Let's find out, shall we? We can go the overland route. We'll get a boost to our morale of armies for the next 5 years. And then Pirate Haven's going to be removed from Ziz. Good. Or we get morale of navies. I'm going to go with morale of armies. I know we're Carthage. I know we should be building up our navy, but building up our army is important too. Let's go ahead and move this army towards their last fort. I'm going to just keep on moving forward with my other armies as well. Alright, so you gained a little bit of popularity in this war, but honestly not a ton. We can get a new military tradition. I think I want to keep moving down this line, right? Or should I maybe think about going towards... I mean, this is pretty powerful. I mean, the skilled recruiters. We could get mercenary army maintenance minus 10%, mercenary recruitment cost minus 25%. But as Carthage, we're going to have such high manpower that I'm not necessarily worried about taking a bunch of mercenaries, even though historically Carthage was kind of famous for hiring a bunch of mercenaries. I like the army attrition down by 15% a lot, but you know what? Oops. Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and grab that one. We're going to make it into this fight. Indeed we are. We are not going to become the fight leader, though, which means we don't gain any popularity. Oh well. We're going to go ahead and start sieging down their last remaining fort. We'll see if we're able to do it before we start taking any attrition from our low food supplies. But aside from that, we're going to go ahead and pretty much clean up, take all of their territory. We'll go ahead and have you go restock your food. As soon as this fort falls, we will definitely go ahead and peace out. I'm going to fully annex them. I also am getting kind of close to integrating Tripoli. Now, why those two things are important, well, more pirates, of course, is because I'm trying to work my way down this mission tree. So once I secure the African coast, once I peace out with the Mauritanians, I will be able to secure the African coast. And then once I bring in the people of Tripoli, I will be able to click this button. That will give me national commerce income up by 10% for quite some time, 30 years, as well as Navy maintenance cost minus 15%. And then I don't know what this is, the Libyan Empire? It doesn't tell me much about it. It just says completing this task will give a choice between 2 permanent boni. So we'll see what happens. Looks like one of our armies is lacking some food. Which is it? Oh, it's you. Let's go ahead, have you retreat. Go grab some food. We need a new governor. Someone loyal, but also maybe someone from one of these scorned families. Specifically looking at you, Eshbal. An influential family. This guy, he is of the renowned Hannibal family, has denied to offer us the support of her family's vast network of contracts. Ah, rude. In a bid to better reorganize our bureaucratic system, it is curious that she should approach us now. Indeed. Oh, interesting. So we will be unable to act against the family of Hannibal for 5 years. Basically, and then Carthage gets friends in high places. What does it mean when it says we will be unable to act against the family Hannibal for 5 years? Does that mean we won't be able to, like, remove them from a... I'm going to go ahead and say that this smells like a trap. So every member of the Hannibal family will lose, and they will lose 100 family prestige. Let's take a look at that. Oops. So the Hannibal family already doesn't have the highest family prestige. That belongs to the Barkid family. How many people are there? We can go ahead and say that this kind of smells like a trap. Now with them losing that, their power base is significantly weakened compared to everyone else's. You're going to win us over a little bit more popularity. Good for you, man. Good for you. This fortress needs to go ahead and fall. That way we could finish up this war. The treasury of Bomakol Bodona. It seems that he has gotten his hands on a lot of wealth. Good, good. He could say it's time to share. He's going to lose some loyalty. He is a general of one of my armies. Oh, he's actually the leader of the military faction. So it would, I guess, pay to keep him happy. I could say he'll quiet down. He will gain 10 popularity. I could be okay with that. Or he already has gained 10 popularity. He's also gained 5 corruption. I could make him share, or I could lose some of my own popularity, and he would become less disloyal. I'm just going to do that. One of our armies is unfortunately taking attrition due to lack of food. It's going to take a lot of attrition, but I am going to go ahead and siege down this province or this territory real quick. And then I'll go ahead and move you right there. Let's fight a battle. Yeah, they're utterly crushed, and now that supply wagon comes in, and it's done. Great. Yes, and you're already reinforcing your... Let's go ahead. We'll play some whack-a-mole. Come on, yeah, there we go. That's the stack wipe we needed. And we'll move you back to friendlier territory. How are you looking on attrition here? Not great. I'm going to go ahead and march this army, and then I can just kind of bounce them back and forth. I would like to go ahead and integrate Tripolitania over here, but it appears I'm going to have to wait another episode to do that. We are making good progress on the integration, but it just takes a little bit longer than we would like. Man, this fort must be something strong. Yeah, fort defense, 57%. Wow, because they export stone, they have lots of food. Alright. Unfortunately, one of our co-rulers has passed on. He was the... Also, it seems that he was the tribune of the people. Ooh, and we could put someone really not good in there. I guess we will go ahead and do that. It's more of a honorary title, if anything, right? Now, something else we have to do, I guess, before we can hit this button is we have to colonize just these two little territories. So, let's see, you are majority Punic, majority Canaanite. Can I move some pops here? Yeah. So now I can colonize here. I will need to move about 10 Canaanite and Punic. Colonized. Alright. So now, once this siege falls, we will be able to hit that button. And we will be able to continue on our mission tree. The second insult of Bomukal. A few months have passed since Bomukal came into a tidy sum of gold, and the first time we heard about his insults to our rulership in Carthage. Hey man, I guess you're the head of the Bonadid family. Let's take a look at that Bonadid family. It's a pretty influential one. It has a lot of familial prestige, which means it has a high power base. Now, during a large gathering in one of his villas just outside of Carthage, he has apparently compared Metello handed to an incapable farm animal. How rude! We could say it's probably just a slip of the tongue, or let us see if he prefers the dungeon. We will imprison him. Oh man, he's gonna lose 40 loyalty. He's the ruler of he's the general of one of my best armies. He's gonna gain the trait arrogant. You know what? We don't imprison people just for insulting us. We are better than that, right? How's all of these provinces? So I'm starting to increase all of my disloyal provinces, all of the loyalty of my disloyal provinces, so that's good. Having the army here really does help a lot because it gets rid a lot of the, well, the unrest from having those unruly pops. In fact, if I come back to my larger army, yeah, no, I mean, some of these territories were very upset, especially like this one right here. They're gaining slowly their loyalty back. It's good. Still just waiting on this one fort. Crisis in Siculia. Hopefully they will fall to chaos. Okay. Sure. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the province. Yeah, check this out. Oh, we have a new ruler. He is from the Civic faction. We should also go ahead and hire someone, preferably from, ooh, what family? The Gisco family. Now, Milkpilly's Gisco, I guess he doesn't count, unfortunately, so I'm going to go ahead and hire this man. He was actually at one point the Suffe. Alright, the siege is finally won. Man, that siege was tough. They had a local fort defense of, I mean, wasn't their local fort defense well over 50%? That's great because of the stone. Yes, they have stone here, as well as because of just the years and years of food supply. So having that, a large amount of food capacity really does increase your fort defense by a ton, doesn't it? I like that. I like that a lot. Alright, so we are taking attrition now. I'm going to go ahead and just bounce you up to the Straits of Gibraltar. And let's go ahead. I wonder how much aggressive expansion this is going to cost us. Let's sue for peace. I need all of it to fulfill the requirements for that mission. So I'm going to go ahead and take all of it. We're going to gain 10 aggressive expansion. That's honestly not as bad as I was thinking it might be. And press the OK button. Now we're going to lose 0.5 aggressive expansion. And there we are. That should mean we can hit this securing the coast. That's going to give us Navy maintenance down 15% for the foreseeable future until year 505. That's 30 years from now, so that's not terrible. And then we can hit the Libyan Empire. So I guess let's go ahead and hit this button as well, right? Alright, so the Libyan Empire. Bostar Gisco looks out across the landscape from his balcony as the sun sets in the west. He finds the view splendid, knowing as he does that now, as far as the eye can see, in fact, as far as the pillars of Hercules and beyond, even to the setting sun, the peoples and lands belong or bow to the might of Carthage. He turns towards the sea and looks both east, west, and north. Foreign lands lie ahead, ready for conquest or subjugation. Alright, so we're going to get two different potential bonuses. One, until the end of the game, Carthage will get the African hegemon. That gives us wrong culture group happiness plus 5%, and then pop assimilation speed plus 1%, or plus 1, or 0.1. Or we could get a permanent boost to diplomatic relations, as well as a permanent boost to loyalty of subject states. Now, I don't necessarily know if I'm going to be building up a huge federation of subject states, and even if I do, they're actually not that difficult to keep in line, especially for a large nation like Carthage. So I think having this wrong culture group happiness plus 5%, as well as the pop assimilation speed, is going to be the better bet for me in the long run, so I'm going to go with that one. And then I can actually hit finish the mission even without... But I wouldn't mind getting this national commerce income up for the next 30 years. That'll just help me make some money, and we're almost there. Let's see, we are... I mean, we're about 20... Really like 25 months away, so 2 years. You know what? Let's go ahead and wait it out. I'm going to wait for the Emporium of Tripoli. I unfortunately am also going to have to call it quits there, but take a look at Carthage. We are definitely growing in power, and we'll have to see where the next mission set takes us on the next episode. Hey, if you liked this episode, hit that like button. If you have any suggestions on or kind of comments about how to best manipulate the republics of the game, I would love to learn how to get a little bit more control about who my next ruler is, who, you know, what party is empowered. I feel like I'm learning a lot, but this is one of my... I tried to play Rome right when the game first came out, but then for the most part I've actually mostly enjoyed playing like monarchies and tribes and turning tribes into monarchies. I really haven't done a ton in republics, and I'm really excited to do a lot in of a lot more games as republics in the near future. I think it's a really cool government type, and I think once I get it figured out, it will eventually just come second nature. But we'll have to see, and maybe, who knows, maybe even Paradox did leave a little bit of chance in the Republican government type, but honestly, I doubt it. That's just not really how Paradox rolls. We are seeing Rome, they are growing, but not actually as much as I would have hoped. I want them to really be expanding into Gaul at this point. I'm also curious to see what their missions set look like. Maybe I'll have to fire up a Rome game, see what it's like. But for now, we are Carthage, and we are going to keep following the Carthaginian missions and hope that it leads to a very climactic Punic War. I hope you're having a great day, and I will definitely see you on the next one.